The phone vibrated once, twice. Then it started to ring, insistent like a drill through my half-sleep. I barely registered the time, 3 a.m., when I grabbed it from the nightstand. The light from the screen lit up the dark room in a cold, surgical way, making everything look unreal. Ashley. Calling. I swiped to answer, pressing the phone against my ear. I didn't even get the chance to say anything. Sobbing. Violent, ugly sobs like she was choking on her own spit. Then a broken voice, Mike, oh my God, please don't open the message. Please. I love you. Don't look. Please. I sat up, blood pounding in my ears so loud I could barely hear her. A notification was already sitting at the top of my screen. A new message. Unknown number. One attachment. I didn't hesitate. I opened it. The image burned itself into my brain instantly like a brand pressed against raw skin. Ashley, naked except for some scrap of lingerie I had never seen before, straddling some guy, her face twisted into a kind of wild, hungry grin I hadn't seen directed at me in years. The guy's face was partially visible, younger than me, ripped hands gripping her hips so tight it made her skin ripple. And then, worse? Another message popped in. A video. I pressed play like some sick part of me needed to hammer the final nail myself. The room was filled with her voice, her moans, her filthy words, things she used to whisper to me in the dark but now screamed at someone else, someone who wasn't wearing my ring, someone who didn't care that she had a husband waiting at home like a fucking idiot. In the background of the video, I saw a hotel clock blinking. The date stamped in the corner? Tonight. Just hours ago. While I sat at home thinking she was doing face masks and drinking wine with her sister, she was grinding herself into some random guy, looking happier than I'd seen her in years. My body went cold first. Then it started to shake, not from fear, no, from the kind of rage that you can feel crawling under your skin like a million burning ants. I lowered the phone from my face, staring into the darkness of the bedroom, feeling the world tilt. On the other end of the call, Ashley was still sobbing. Still begging. Still trying to pull me back from the edge. I ended the call. I needed silence. I needed air. I needed anything but her. I threw on whatever clothes were closest, no socks, mismatched sneakers, and stormed out of the house, the door slamming so hard behind me it rattled the windows. The night air hit me like a slap. I stood there on the porch, staring up at the black sky, fists clenched, chest heaving, brain trying to catch up to my body. The betrayal sat on my chest like a dead weight. Every laugh she shared with me, every time she looked at me and said, "You're my everything," every future we ever planned, all of it twisted into a joke I wasn't in on. And the worst part? It wasn't even over yet. I hadn't even asked why yet. I hadn't even heard the lies she was going to pile on top of the wreckage she caused. But I would. And God help her when I did. I didn't know where I was driving until I was already halfway across town, the city lights smearing across the windshield like bleeding wounds. My hands were so tight on the steering wheel that my arms went numb, but I didn't care. I needed movement. Standing still would mean thinking. Thinking would mean feeling. And I wasn't ready for that yet. Somewhere between the gas station and an abandoned mall, my phone buzzed again. Ashley. Another call. I let it ring until it died. Then another message. Mike, please come home. We need to talk. I can explain. I swear it wasn't supposed to happen. Explain what? How she mounted another guy like some heat-starved teenager while I worked overtime to save for our dream vacation. How she moaned and clawed at some stranger like a woman possessed while telling me she was tired and needed space. I laughed. A real, broken, ugly sound that scared even me. I finally pulled into an empty parking lot, killed the engine, and sat there breathing like I just sprinted miles. I stared down at the last few texts she'd sent over the past week, the ones that now read like jokes. Love you, babe, heart. Can't wait to see you when I get back. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Was I? Was I the best thing, or just the safest option? Some doormat to come home to once she'd scratched whatever itch she needed to? My phone buzzed again, and this time, something inside me cracked. I answered. Mike, please listen, she launched in immediately, voice raw and pitiful. I didn't say a word. Just listened. You don't understand, she gasped. It was a mistake. I didn't even know what I was doing, I was drunk, it was a stupid dare, it didn't mean anything, Mike, you have to believe me. Didn't mean anything? Someone sure cared enough to film it. Someone sure cared enough to leak it to me like a goddamn nuke dropped right in my lap. I still said nothing. I wanted her to hear the silence. I wanted her to drown in it. She kept babbling, throwing out every excuse like a panicked criminal trying to build a time machine from their own lies. He's nobody. It's not even serious. I was thinking about you the whole time. I swear to God, Mike. Please, please come home. The tears sounded real. But so did her laughter in that video. Finally, when she realized I wasn't going to talk, she snapped. Her whole tone flipped like a switchblade opening in the dark. Fine. If you're gonna be a fucking child about it, maybe you're not the man I thought you were. There it was. The real Ashley. The one hiding behind all the baby I love you, and you're my whole world bullshit. I hung up. The rage boiled over. I slammed my fist into the steering wheel until the horn screamed into the empty night. I didn't stop until my knuckles split open, until pain overtook the tidal wave inside me. I looked down at my bloody hand, and all I could think was, this is what loving her got me. Blood, silence, ashes where my future used to be. And deep inside, something darker whispered, you're just getting started. By the time I pulled into the driveway, the sky was starting to bleed gray with the first hint of morning. I sat there for a second, engine idling, staring at the front door like it was some kind of mouth ready to swallow me whole. Her car was there. Of course it was. She was waiting for me, probably rehearsing her lines, picking the right lies, the right amount of tears, the right way to tilt her head so I might still, somehow, pity her. I killed the engine, grabbed the steering wheel once, hard, like I could somehow brace myself for what was about to happen, and got out. The porch light flickered overhead. Fitting. When I opened the door, the house smelled different. Not like home. Like fear and fake vanilla candles and desperation. Ashley was standing in the living room, barefoot, hair a mess, makeup smeared from crying. She clutched a crumpled tissue in one hand like it was some kind of shield. The second she saw me, her face crumpled again, and she rushed toward me. Arms outstretched like she thought this was a goddamn movie and I was going to catch her and make it all okay. I stepped back. She froze mid-stride. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out for a second. Then she started spewing garbage. Mike. I swear to God, it wasn't planned. I didn't even know him. He was just there. It was a mistake. I didn't feel anything. It meant nothing. Please, you have to believe me. I didn't even blink. Who is he? I asked, voice low. Her mouth opened and closed like a dying fish. Then, he's nobody. Just some guy from the bar. I don't even know his last name. I could see it all over her face. The way her eyes darted. The way her voice pitched up just a little too high. She knew exactly who he was. And she was still choosing to lie to my face. Even now, even when she had nothing left to lose. You're a better liar when you're drunk, I said, stepping around her toward the kitchen. She flinched like I slapped her. I grabbed a glass from the cabinet with shaking hands, filled it with water, and downed it even though it tasted like sand in my mouth. Behind me, she started again, the words getting sharper now. What, you think you're some perfect husband? You think you're so easy to love? Maybe if you paid more attention to me, I wouldn't have been looking somewhere else. There it was. The knife straight to the gut. She wasn't sorry. She was blaming me. I turned around slowly, glass still in hand. You want me to apologize for your cheating? I said, voice deadly calm. Is that the game we're playing now? She looked like she wanted to say yes. Instead, she burst into tears again, louder this time, like volume could somehow erase what she'd done. I was drunk, Mike. I didn't mean for it to happen. You don't know what it's like. Feeling unwanted. Invisible. Invisible. I barked a laugh so bitter it hurt my own ears. You were the center of my goddamn universe. Ashley. I worked 2 jobs to give you everything you said you wanted. I missed birthdays, anniversaries, nights with friends. For you. And you repay that by letting some random dude raw dog you in a hotel room? She flinched again. Good. I wanted her to feel it. I wanted her to choke on it. For the first time since the nightmare started, she didn't have anything to say. Just stood there, small and shaking, in the ruins she made. I put the glass down with a hard clack. You don't love me, I said quietly. You just loved having someone around to worship you. Her mouth moved, but no words came out. Only more tears. I walked past her to the stairs. Where are you going? She choked. Packing, I said. You can stay and rot in this house. It already smells like betrayal anyway. I didn't look back. Not even when she collapsed onto the floor behind me, sobbing like the victim in a story she wrote herself. I stormed upstairs 2 at a time, my mind a whirling mess of rage, disgust, and something colder, sharper, settling into my bones. It was over. There was no coming back from this. I wasn't that guy, the one who'd pretend it never happened, who'd let her sweet-talk her way back into our bed while some stranger's fingerprints still clung to her skin. In the bedroom, the life we built stared back at me. Photos on the wall, laughing vacations, anniversaries, birthdays. The bed we picked out together, the soft throw blanket she insisted we needed, the little dresser I put together by hand. Everything was soaked in lies now. Everything smelled like someone else's sweat. I yanked the biggest duffel bag from under the bed and started throwing clothes into it. Not carefully. Not thoughtfully. Fistfuls at a time, like the faster I moved, the faster I could peel her filth off me. Downstairs, I could still hear her crying. But there was something else too, the low, quick rhythm of her texting. I froze for a second. Then something ugly twisted inside me. I dropped the clothes, crossed the room in 2 steps, and grabbed my phone off the nightstand. It buzzed in my hand the second I touched it. Another message from an unknown number. Yo bro, don't blame her too much, she's just a girl who needed real attention. Fire. I stood there, breathing hard, seeing red. It wasn't just some drunken accident. It wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a full-blown mockery. They were laughing at me. I scrolled down. Another message popped up. She said you were boring as K face with tears of joy. Something inside me snapped clean in half. I marched back downstairs, my steps pounding the wood so hard it rattled picture frames. Ashley was curled up on the couch now, holding her phone like a lifeline. The second she saw me, her face lit up, desperate hope flashing in her puffy eyes. Mike, please, just please sit down, let's talk like adults. Please, I know get up, but... I tossed my phone onto the coffee table hard enough that it slid across and hit a coaster, spinning. Talk to your little boy, I growled. He seems to think he knows a lot about our marriage. Her face drained of color like someone pulled the plug. You're texting him, I said. Right now. Begging him to what? Keep quiet? Comfort you. No, it's not like that. Mike, please. You're unbelievable, I cut her off, voice low and deadly. You don't even have the decency to fake guilt for 5F*** ing minutes before crawling back to the guy you let inside you. She stood up, stumbling over her own feet, hands shaking. It's not what you think, Mike. He's lying. I swear he's lying. I'm just trying to fix this. I'm trying to protect us. Us. I spat. There's no us. You blew us out of existence the second you spread your legs for him. The words slapped her harder than anything physical could have. Good. She deserved it. She deserved to feel it sink into her, just like that knife she drove into my back. For a long second, we just stared at each other. 2 strangers. 2 enemies. Standing in the ruins of a marriage neither of us recognized anymore. Finally, she whispered, voice trembling, Mike, please, don't leave. Please. I'll do anything. I looked at her, this woman I once would have burned the world down for, and felt absolutely nothing. You already did enough. I turned and went back upstairs. This time, I packed with purpose. This time, I packed like a man who knew exactly what he was walking away from. And for the first time since 3 a.m., I felt something close to calm. Because whatever came next, the yelling, the crying, the lawyers, the gossip, none of it could touch me anymore. Ashley had already done the worst thing imaginable. And I survived it. Barely. I shoved the last of my things into the duffel, zipped it up so hard the zipper screamed in protest, and slung it over my shoulder. The weight of it felt good. Heavy. Real. A reminder that I was leaving with something, even if it was just clothes and whatever dignity Ashley hadn't ripped to shreds. As I made my way down the stairs, I could see her sitting there, perched on the arm of the couch like a kicked dog. Her eyes locked onto me the second I appeared, wild and pleading. She jumped up, blocking the front door like her tiny body could actually stop me. Mike, please? Please don't go. We can fix this. We can go to therapy, I'll block his number, I'll do anything. I'll change. I swear to God, you mean everything to me. It was almost funny. A week ago, those words would have broken me. Now they just sounded cheap. Like she found them in a fortune cookie. I dropped the bag by the door and crossed my arms, staring her down. You don't even regret it, I said. You regret getting caught. Her mouth opened to argue, instinct, probably, but then she stopped. Her shoulders sagged. For a flicker of a second, the real Ashley came out. Not the crying, desperate one. Not the apologetic mask she threw on for sympathy. The cold, selfish one. The one who chose to do this. You're right, she whispered. I don't regret it. I blinked. She must have seen something in my face because she straightened her spine, chin lifting like she was daring me to hit back. You were boring, Mike, she spat, the venom dripping now. You stopped being exciting a long time ago. All you cared about was work and paying bills and saving for a future that I didn't even want anymore. Each word felt like a hammer to the chest. Not because it hurt, not anymore, but because it showed me exactly who she had become. And what? I said, voice low. F*********, ing, some random loser made you feel alive again? Her lip curled. At least he made me feel wanted. There it was. The death blow. The final knife, twisted deep. For a moment, the world tilted, a wave of pure, blinding anger crashed through me so hard that I actually took a step forward before I caught myself. I could have screamed. I could have thrown something, smashed the coffee table, punched a hole in the wall like some cliché you see in bad movies. Instead, I did the one thing she didn't expect. I laughed. A deep, raw, hollow sound that echoed through the room and made her flinch. You think he wants you? I said, shaking my head. He wanted a body. A cheap, easy F*******. And you gave it to him. Congratulations, Ashley. Her face crumpled just for a second before she smoothed it back into that brittle, angry mask. Get out, she hissed. If you're so perfect, go. No one's stopping you. No one ever could, I said, grabbing my bag and yanking the door open. The morning sun hit me full in the face, harsh and blinding. Behind me, I heard her slam the door with a sound like a gunshot. Good. Let her sit in the house she poisoned. Let her drown in it. I didn't look back. Not once. The only thing I allowed myself was a deep, shaking breath as I stood on the porch, feeling the cold morning air bite at my skin. I was free. Bleeding, broken, furious, but free. And somewhere deep inside, a new thought started to flicker. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning. My beginning. Without her, the second my feet hit the sidewalk, it felt like a goddamn reset button slammed down on my life. But it wasn't clean. Freedom doesn't come wrapped in pretty paper. It comes dripping in blood and shame and 1,000 what the F******* just happened thoughts gnawing at your brain. I threw my bag into the trunk, slammed it shut, and sat in the driver's seat, staring at the steering wheel like it might tell me what to do next. Where do you go when your entire life burns down at 3 a.m.? I had no plan. No friends nearby I could crash with. Family? Too complicated. They'd want explanations. They'd ask the wrong questions, the kind that cut deeper than Ashley ever could. So I just drove. Nowhere in particular. Miles bleeding into miles, the road stretching out like an escape tunnel I wasn't sure I deserved. At some point, I pulled into a crappy motel on the edge of town, the kind of place you wouldn't even look twice at unless you were desperate or running from something. The guy at the front desk didn't even blink when I handed over cash. Just slid me a key without a word. Room 107. Smelled like bleach and bad decisions. I dropped my bag on the floor and sat on the edge of the bed, elbows on my knees, head in my hands. And that's when it finally hit. The weight. The betrayal. The cold, disgusting truth that no matter how many miles I put between me and that house, she was still in my head. Her laugh. Her touch. The way she used to curl up against me at night and murmur that I was her safe place. All of it infected now. All of it fake. I sat there for hours. Didn't cry. Didn't scream. Just existed. Like a ghost in a stranger's body. My phone buzzed somewhere deep in my bag. I ignored it. Buzz. 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 Finally, I dragged it out and checked. 20 missed calls. 14 voicemails. 35 text messages. All from her. I didn't even bother opening them. I deleted every single one without listening or reading. If she wanted to beg, if she wanted to rage, if she wanted to play victim, she could do it to the empty walls of that house. Not to me. Not anymore. I thought about blocking her. Hell, I thought about throwing the phone out the damn window. Instead, I opened a blank message and typed. We're done. Don't contact me again. I hit send. Blocked her number. Blocked her on every app one could think of. A clean cut. It didn't feel satisfying. It didn't feel triumphant. It just felt necessary. The first real step towards something I hadn't even dared to imagine yet. A life without Ashley. A life where I wasn't the backup plan, the safety net, the boring guy she settled for until something better walked by. And sitting there in that shitty motel room with the taste of dust and old dreams in the air, I made a vow to myself. I will never let anyone make me feel this small again. Not ever. The morning hit me like a slap. No dreams. No rest. Just the same grim motel walls and a pounding headache that felt stitched into the back of my skull. I sat up slowly, blinking into the dirty light filtering through the stained curtains. Today wasn't about feelings. Today was about war. I Googled a lawyer before I even brushed my teeth. Filing for divorce, it sounded so clean on paper. Like you just signed a few sheets, clicked a button, and poof, your life rewrites itself. But the reality? It's digging your hands into your own gut and yanking out every piece that was tangled up with someone else's. The lawyer's receptionist answered after 3 rings. Professional, curt. Sympathetic enough that it didn't sound fake, cold enough that I didn't have to explain much. Cheating? Proof? Check. Witnesses? Screenshots? Double check. They gave me an appointment for later that day. No time to think. No time to second guess. Perfect. I threw on yesterday's clothes, grabbed my keys, and headed back toward what used to be home because there was one last thing I needed to do before I buried Ashley for good. My name was still on everything. The house. The joint bank account. The F****************************** ING Netflix subscription. She wasn't going to get a damn dime more than she deserved, which at this point was nothing. As I pulled into the street, I spotted her car still in the driveway. Of course. Part of me wondered if she even slept. Or if she spent the night pacing, crying, rehearsing a new set of lies for me. Didn't matter. I wasn't here to talk. I parked across the street, heart pounding but face stone cold. I texted her one line. Coming in for my documents. Don't talk to me. A minute later, the door creaked open. She stood there, barefoot in an old hoodie, mine, looking about 3 inches tall. I didn't give her a glance as I walked past her. Straight upstairs. Straight to the file cabinet in the office we used to share. I yanked out everything. Birth certificates, marriage license, ironic, bank statements, insurance papers. All the ties that needed to be sliced clean. She hovered at the bottom of the stairs, whispering my name like a ghost. Mike, please? I ignored her. Until, her voice sharpened, broke through like a poisoned arrow. You're really going to throw away everything over one mistake? One mistake. One. Like it was tripping over a sidewalk crack. Like it wasn't a video sent to my phone at 3 in the goddamn morning showing her riding another man like her life depended on it. I came down the stairs slowly, every step measured. Dropped the stack of papers into my bag. Then I looked her dead in the eye. You didn't just make a mistake, I said, voice steady. You made a choice. Over. And over. And over. Her face twisted, fury, shame, panic, all battling it out. You think you're so perfect, she spat suddenly, venom back in full force. You think you'll find someone better than me? I smiled. A cold, hollow smile. I don't need better, I said. I just need different. Someone who doesn't treat loyalty like an optional setting. That shut her up. For a long moment, we just stood there, 2 people who once swore they'd die for each other, now just strangers picking over the ruins. Finally, without another word, I turned and walked out the door. This time, when it slammed behind me, it didn't sound like a gunshot. It sounded like a door locking forever. The law office was a sleek glass building downtown, sterile and humming with the quiet, professional menace of people who rip lives apart for a living and charge you by the hour for the privilege. I didn't even sit in the waiting area. Paced instead. Arms crossed, mind racing. When they finally called me in, the lawyer, Mr. Coleman, didn't waste time on small talk. Just nodded, gestured at the chair across from his massive oak desk, and slid a yellow notepad in front of him. Tell me everything, he said. So I did. No filters. No pride left to protect. I told him about the calls, the video, the messages from the guy she cheated with. I even pulled out my phone and dropped it on the desk like evidence at a crime scene. He barely blinked. You're in a good position, he said, flipping through notes. Clear-cut adultery. We can push for a very favorable settlement. No alimony. You keep the house if you want it. She walks away with what she brought in, which, from what you've told me, wasn't much. Hearing it put so plainly almost made me laugh. 7 years of marriage, 10 years of memories reduced to assets and checklists. Cold. Efficient. Exactly what I needed. We drafted the first set of papers right there. Fast-track divorce filing on grounds of infidelity. I signed it the little X without hesitation, hand steady. It felt surgical. Like amputating a dead limb before the rot spread further. By the time I left the office, it was early afternoon. The sun was glaring, people bustling by, living their normal lives. It was almost insulting how little the world cared that mine had just exploded. I checked my phone out of habit. No new texts from Ashley. But there was a new message. From another unknown number. Different this time. I hesitated, thumb hovering. Some small, bitter voice whispered, "More poison?" Curiosity won. I opened it. "Yo, man. We should talk." She lied to both of us. "Meet up?" "Just 10 minutes. Your call." Attached was a selfie, and yeah, it was him. Same face from the video. The guy who wrecked my marriage with his bare hands and didn't even have the decency to feel guilty about it. For a second, rage clawed up my spine so hard it blurred my vision. But then, something about the message stuck in my brain like a splinter. She lied to both of us. Both. Was he just another toy for her? Another idiot she dangled on a string while I busted my ass trying to build a future? Part of me wanted to delete it. Blot the number. Walk away. But another part, the darker, meaner part, wanted answers. Wanted the truth no matter how much it bled. I stared at the screen for a long moment, then typed back 2 words. Where and when? Because if I was going to burn the whole thing down, I wanted to watch every single piece of it turn to ash. He picked the worst possible place, some dingy coffee shop off a forgotten side street, the kind of place where the seats were torn and the coffee tasted like burned regret. Fitting, honestly. I got there first. Sat in a booth facing the door, back against the wall, just instinct at this point. 10 minutes later, he walked in. And yeah, it was him. Tall, gym rat build, fake swagger in every step. The kind of guy who thought a 6-pack and a few tattoos made him invincible. But seeing him in person? He didn't look cocky now. He looked nervous. Shifty. He slid into the booth across from me, didn't order anything, just leaned in. "Mike, right?" he said, voice low. I didn't answer. Just stared at him, letting the silence press down hard. Finally, he sighed, rubbing a hand over his jaw. "Listen. I didn't know she was married. Not at first." I kept staring. He shifted uncomfortably. "I met her at a bar. She said she was single. Said her last relationship was toxic and she was just trying to have some fun. Typical. Painting herself as the wounded little angel desperate for comfort." He swallowed hard. "It wasn't just one night." My jaw clenched. I thought we had something real," he said, laughing bitterly. "I didn't find out about you until I saw AF ****ing framed wedding photo on her dresser." Dresser. Our dresser. The one I bought when we moved into that house. The one I spent 3 hours putting together because she said she wanted something classic. The room spun for a second. "You kept seeing her even after that?" I asked, voice ice cold. He flinched. "At first, she told me you guys were separated. That you were just roommates now. That she was scared to tell you she moved on." I laughed sharp and humorless. Of course she did. Why take responsibility when you can build a web of lies and sit in the middle like a goddamn spider? He looked down at his hands. "You weren't supposed to see the video. I swear. She sent it to me that night, bragging. Said she finally got what she deserved." I went cold all over. "Bragging?" I repeated. He nodded, miserable. "Yeah. She said you were a good guy but boring as hell. Said she deserved someone who could keep up with her. Whatever the F*** that means." Every word felt like another punch to the gut. Ashley hadn't just cheated. She celebrated it. Rubbed it in. Mocked everything we had with a stranger she barely knew. I leaned back in the booth, feeling something inside me settle, not peace exactly, but something close. Clarity. He finally looked up, desperate. "I'm sorry, man. For real. I didn't know. If I had..." "You didn't wreck my marriage," I interrupted. "She did." He blinked. And it was true. He was a symptom. She was the disease. We sat in silence for a minute, 2 men who should have been enemies but were really just collateral damage in the same wreck. Finally, I stood up. "No hard feelings," I said. "But stay the F*** out of my life." He nodded, ashamed. I walked out without looking back. The sun was starting to set, bathing the broken city in blood-red light. Fitting, I thought. Everything was dying. But something new, something meaner, stronger, was clawing its way up through the ashes inside me. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel afraid of what came next. The motel room felt different when I came back that night. Still smelled like bleach and cheap soap, still had that busted lamp in the corner, but something in me had shifted. Maybe it was hearing it straight from the guy. Maybe it was seeing so clearly what Ashley really was. Or maybe it was just realizing that no matter how bad it hurt, I survived it. I sat on the edge of the bed, stared at my packed duffel bag, and realized I wasn't running anymore. I was starting over. It wasn't going to be clean. It wasn't going to be fast. Some wounds don't heal nice and neat, they leave jagged scars that catch on your clothes and bleed when you least expect it. But scars are better than open wounds. Scars mean you lived through the fire. In the following days, everything moved fast. Papers filed. Joint accounts closed. A for sale sign hammered into the front lawn of the house we once called ours. I didn't stay to watch it rot. I found a small one-bedroom apartment across town. Tiny, ugly, but it was mine. Mine alone. The nights were hard at first. The silence. The spaces in the bed where she used to sleep. The muscle memory of reaching for someone who wasn't there anymore. But slowly, agonizingly slowly, I stopped reaching. I built new routines. New habits. New parts of myself. I reconnected with old friends, the ones I pushed away because Ashley always had plans or wasn't feeling social. I picked up boxing again, the thing I gave up because she said it was a waste of time. I started laughing without flinching at the sound of my own happiness. Ashley tried to reach out a few times through mutual friends. Crocodile tears. She made a mistake. She misses you. She's changed. I didn't respond. Not once. Because I realized something she never could. Real love doesn't humiliate you. Real love doesn't make you beg for respect. Real love doesn't leave you broken at 3 a.m. with a picture you can't erase burned into your mind. If you're sitting there reading this, wondering if you should stay with someone who betrays you, here's your answer. Don't. If they loved you, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. No amount of crying, begging, or blaming you changes the truth. They chose to destroy you. You owe it to yourself to choose survival. Walk away. Walk through the fire. Let it burn everything fake and rotten off you. You'll be scarred. You'll hurt like hell. But you'll be free. And that freedom? It's worth every second of the pain. I'm living proof.